leaving the shelter slash tent site where I was last night. Quite a few people there. Ended up running into Dozer and DoorDash again. And Frodo was there. And another younger guy that I don't know his name showed up later on. And then there was 2 or 3 others in the back who had like several different sections tenting back there. I think they were all section hikers back there, which is quite a few people for this time of year. But everybody had their own spot, so it wasn't loud or ruckus or anything like that. All got good sleep. Well, as far as I know, we all got good sleep. I definitely did. Nice and warm last night, cozy. Today's going to be another warm one. I don't think it's going to be quite as warm as last night. But then tomorrow comes the rain and a storm and a cold front. And then it's not supposed to be above like the 50s for like the next week after that. And of course, I just keep going more north. So going to be chasing some cold weather here probably a little bit for who knows how long. It is spring, but you know, weather can definitely still get cold, and it's not out of the question with snowstorms and everything else. So keeping my fingers crossed they don't run into any snow or anything. But got about 20-25 miles or so, and Shenandoah will be completed and in the bag. But I'm definitely going to try to sit out tomorrow somewhere in one of the hostels. There's a couple different choices, so that's the plan today. You know, trekking on, getting as many miles as possible. Hopefully I could stay in the second hostel, which literally just opened yesterday for the season. So it'll be nice and fresh. But hoping to get to that one just because it obviously cuts down on miles since I'm going to have to sit out. But that's the plan. And all right, now I got to turn this way. So it gives many miles today, and then, you know, some beautiful views, some nice mountains. I think today is actually one of the last 3,000-foot mountains for quite some time that I'll be summiting. And then it kind of gets flat for a while. And there is a wayside up here, so you know I'm going to be stopping to get some snacks or donuts or maybe a cheeseburger. I don't know. Depends if their grill's open, which I don't think it is. But anyway, it's going to be a beautiful day. We're going to do some conquering. Going to do some sweating. Going to stay hydrated and eat as many calories as possible. And keep on keeping on. My feet's been feeling good. My back was a little achy yesterday, but started feeling a little better as the day progressed. But it was still pretty sore last night, so glad I was able to get some good rest. So I think it's going to be a great day. We're going to see some great stuff. Let's do it. Early morning greeting from a couple deer up here. Just hanging out on the trail, watching me. There's 2 right here, and I see one in the distance a little bit too. Kind of behind that tree over here to the left. Got this one over here that just skedaddled a little bit. And we have this one over here eating some leaves. And then there's one right here over on this side of the trail. This one's about 15 feet from me, just looking at me underneath the branches. Oh, he said, I'm out. Cute little sighting right off the bat in the morning. It's a very foresty area here with a lot of growth of weeds and trees down. Definitely a good spot where wildlife could be. kind of camouflaging themselves. This is the kind of area I always imagine being a lot of deer and even bear, and probably bobcats like to hunt in here, and maybe some foxes. I haven't seen a fox yet. Seen 3 of them last year, and I had never seen a fox in my life. So I don't know. Maybe I've met my quota, because I know they don't show themselves very often. But that was nice to see them right off the bat this morning. Nice and crisp today so far, probably 60 or 65 here. It's 7 something right now. I'm not sure the exact time. Probably close to 7:30. But all right, continuing on, seeing what else we can see today. You know, I think I've told you before on these videos that most mornings I wake up with a song in my head or in my heart, however you want to look at that. Like it was playing in my dreams or something. It's first thing in my head. No song today. Woke up to what seemed like 20 or 30 birds around me singing at like 5:30 in the morning. Wasn't even, oh, look at that right above me. Thank you. Perfect cue. They're like, oh, you want songs? We'll give you songs. But yeah, it was just beautiful hearing them in the background. And I don't know, something about it today. You know, I'm a very spiritual, emotional guy who really takes it all in and reflects a lot. And, you know, my heart is just full of love for everything. But obviously, Lane, the love of my life, my wife to be, you know, just abundance of love for her. But even before I met her and fell in love with her, I've just always had all kinds of love in my heart. I think it comes from my mama. She just had so much love and non-judgmentalness and so forth, and a very peaceful person. Now, I'm peaceful, but I could also be non-peaceful as well. I think I have best of both worlds. I have both my mom and my dad in me on that one, but I definitely felt that peace and that love this morning for nature and the mountains. But this morning, just an overabundance of gratefulness, just full of thanksgiving and gratefulness for the opportunity to be able to do this in spite of adversity, in spite of the health issues that I've had, that I'm able to come out here and little by little conquer those issues, and, you know, the hard life of tragedy, and that I'm able to come out here and symbolically climb these mountains. Just full of gratefulness today. It's made it even more special seeing those beautiful deer right off the bat, just looking at me, and it's like we're all part of the same thing out here, you know. They live out here. I don't. But I'm out here long enough to be considered living here temporarily. Yeah, just very happy and full of Thanksgiving today, for sure. And while I'm on that, I just want to thank everybody who has supported me along the way so far, monetarily, you know, in prayers, you know, special notes and messages, and it just means a lot to me. And I know a couple videos ago I had one of those blunt rants about, you know, goals and, you know, different things like that. I'm not going to go over that again, but today just feeling gratefulness, and you never know, it's a roller coaster of emotions and rides out here. I'm always thankful. I'm always loving where I am and loving what I'm doing and loving the present and being in the moment. But some days it's just a little more than others, and today is one of those days that, you know, just looking at the trees and the sun and feeling the air upon my face and the warmth brings tears to my eyes today. So, at the end of the day, fortunate, I messed it up. Fortunate is a fortunate guy, for sure. I'm also thankful about all the great people I've met out here. You know, a lot of good people. Some people that, you know, just glad I only seen them for a few seconds. But, you know, I'm blessed to have met some really good people out here. Physics was one. I don't know if we'll see each other again, but I know we will off trail. It's a great guy. We had a special bond there for like a day or two. when we were spending a zero at the same place, just had kind of the same personality and such, and definitely got along really well. But man, Dozer and DoorDash, love those guys. It's yeah, they just have great personalities as well, and we're just out here doing the same thing, enjoying nature and pushing through. And you know, I'm not. It's hard to explain this. I love people, but I like my privacy too. I don't really like being around a lot of people. Kind of gives me anxiety and stuff. So I like running into people and so forth. But Dozer and DoorDash, I will admit, I'm actually quite happy when I run into them. Makes me happy to see them again, see that they're still out here pushing on. So I like that we're around each other and kind of keep passing each other. That's pretty cool. And Frodo's another one, younger guy from England, but just a great personality. One of those personalities that, you know, just, you know, help you even be more positive than what you might already be. So it's nice to, and there's obviously others, you know. Met Logan back in the beginning. I haven't seen him for quite some time, since basically Perrysburg, where I ran into him in town. And before then, it was like 130 miles before then. So I think he, yep, I almost tripped. Yep. Well, I did trip. I just didn't fall. Don't you love capturing those on the video? But there's a lot of great people out here. I'm still hiking by myself every single day, but it's nice to run into them in shelters or, you know, midways, or just, you know, passing each other on the trail. But we all have our own speeds and do our own thing. Obviously, me doing the YouTube videos here, you know, for now, you know, I'm walking as I'm doing it, but sometimes I stop and do 360s, or I do a lot of side trails that, you know, maybe a lot of people don't do. But just very thankful today. So I want to take these few moments and talk about how thankful I am that I get this opportunity. And last but certainly not least, I am thankful that after I conquer this trail, Lord willing, I am going to marry my destiny, the love of my life, on October 5th. Lane will become Mrs. Fortune. And that just does my heart good after a long life of letdowns and tragedies and everything else. God was just preparing me to meet the destiny that I was made to be with. And whoo, it does my heart good to know that I finally am in that right spot. Well, I was in the right spot the whole time. I was just being prepared to be in this spot, to be with her, the woman I was born to be with, I guess, is the best way to say it. So thankful for a lot today. Hopefully, as you're seeing this, you're reflecting on your own life and the things that you could be thankful for, because there's so many things. Sometimes we reflect and think about the things that are negative or stressing us out, but there's a lot to be thankful for in life. And I also want to challenge you to get out there and live life as much as you can. Never promise tomorrow, but we have life today. Live life, people. All right, let's carry on. And just to clarify where I said Lord willing, I wasn't meaning Lord willing I'm going to marry my destiny. That's happening. That's been done, written in stone. I meant Lord willing that I can make it to the end of the Appalachian Trail. I never want to take things for granted. 5 million steps, give or take a few, from one end to the other. But it only takes one step to ruin it and end it. So you never know what's going to happen, and all I could do is take it as it comes and hope for the best. But I'm going to push through everything that comes my way as long as I can, and hopefully conquer this trail and conquer Mount Katahdin at the end. But me and Lane definitely getting married October 5th. Nobody can change that. He's also going north to Katahdin, it looks like. He's having problems with the leaves, but we all have problems with something on the trail. Go get it, buddy. Go get it. Just stopped at the last wayside of Shenandoah going north and got a nice ham and cheese hoagie. This is all pre-made stuff. Their grill wasn't open, but a ham and cheese hoagie, big bag of sour cream and onion chips, one of those naked juice things. Good way to get my fruit without getting the fruit, I guess. They had no Mountain Dew or Mellow Yellow. I was quite upset by that. Okay, not really. But they did have Sundrop, which is pretty much the same thing. Different brand, but same kind of flavor. And then I got some Nutty Bars. And then a gentleman came over and gave us all the hikers that were there, another Nutty Bar. And then I got one of those chocolate honey buns and a couple packages of donuts, of course, to put in the bear can. And that will be the last one for Shenandoah. And got about 16 miles, I believe, to the campsite where I'm planning on going. I might go past it, or I might stop before it, who knows. But right now, about 16 miles. I'm doing really good so far on my pace. Over 3 miles an hour for the first 8 miles. However, that obviously came down because I sat there for almost an hour eating and filling up water and using the restroom and all that good stuff. Almost spoiled from the waysides here in Shenandoah, being able to get those snacks and such, resupply the snacks. But here in about 16 miles, that's all going to be done. And then I got to determine where I want to go, because I will be staying in a hostel tomorrow, like I said earlier, because it is going to storm and rain tomorrow. So I want to sit that one out. Just got to figure out which hostel I'm going to get to. But I'll figure that out as time progresses, like I always do. But getting ready to climb right now. So back on trail. Keep that pace going today and see how far we could get. Seems like every day now I run into at least 2 or 3 flip-floppers. For those of you who do not know what a flip-flopper is, to flip-flop the trail means you're starting somewhere, could be anywhere in the middle or somewhere else on the trail. You're going one direction and then you're flipping back and coming back to the direction where you started from the other direction. So, for instance, this gentleman I just passed, named Dr. Who, he started at Harper's Ferry, which is, about 80 miles or so from here. And he's going southbound, and then once he gets to Springer, he will either flip to Katahdin and then go south back to Harper's Ferry, or he'll flip up to Harper's Ferry and go to Katahdin, which that wouldn't make as much sense. So most likely he's probably not doing that. But a lot of people do this based on where they live, or based on weather, or based on the time of year, or maybe just wanting to be away from the bubble, or maybe to time it right where they can be in Damascus for trail days. That's another reason people starting right now, I guess. But I've ran into quite a few. Propensity. That's one. That's funny that's the one I remember right now, because that was the trail name that I never thought I would remember. But there's been a few of them. that I've ran into that start at Harper's Ferry going south, and then some of them have started at Rockfish Gap, which is the beginning of Shenandoah, and then they're going north, and then they're going to flip back to the south to Springer and then go north. So there's a lot of different ways to do it. I myself obviously just started at the south and going all the way north, and hopefully be able to finish the Katahdin. Not like the PCT last year where I started south and had to kind of flip-flop around because of wildfires. That was an unintentional flip-flop. Wasn't the plan to do at all. Some people say, well, that's not a through hike when you do the flip-flop like what these guys are doing, but you know what? It is. You're still doing 2,200 miles. You might be doing it in a different order. People think they could put rules on what people do out here for a through hike. You can't put rules on it. It's each person's journey, what they want to do, what they want to accomplish out of it. So I love running into them and congratulating and wishing them great luck on their journey, because that's all we should do, is be behind people doing what they want to do for their journey to find what it is they're looking for. And with that being said, I'm going to put this phone down and drink some water because it's warm. Here's some cool views at an overlook where the AT crosses skyline once again. Real hazy from the heat out there, but you could still see some pretty cool views out there. All right, continuing on. Here's a really pretty view over top of the Hogback overlook on Skyline Drive. Can really see out into the valley here. It's a little hazy because of the heat, but you can still see some really pretty views. Going to be crossing over Little Hogback and Hogback Mountain before leaving Shenandoah, and this kind of gives a view out into that. Some more great views above the overlook here. Just about 1.5 miles from Little Humpback Mountain. Probably get some really good views from there as well. Now that's a beautiful view. Right before Little Humpback Mountain summit. This little opening here. Absolutely gorgeous. Haze and all. Still can't beat it. Standing on the summit of Little Hogback Mountain, about half covered with trees here in this little outcropping cliff. Get some great views of the valley and the mountains in the distance. On this hot, humid, hazy day, Little Hogback Mountain is in the bag. It is hot today. Another great view off some cliffs on the side of this mountain that I'm summiting right now. Can see pretty much the whole park, or a good portion of the park here, I think. Yeah, definitely not all of it, but at least the northern part. It's great, beautiful. Standing on the summit of North Mount Marshall. All socked in with trees, but you've seen some of those beautiful views on some cliffs coming up. This is actually the last 3,000 footer in Tell, Massachusetts. Now there might be some on side trails, which I will obviously be conquering if there are, but on the trail, this is the last one for quite some time. And this is the last mountain, I believe, in Shenandoah. And North Mount Marshall is in the bag. About 19 miles in today. About 7 miles to where I'll be camping. And also about 7 miles to the northern end and my exit of Shenandoah. It's been a fun park. Made a really good time through it. Had the one day that I only went like 3 miles and took the Nero at the farm to be able to rest my feet up. They've been doing a lot better since then. The only thing I had to say about Shenandoah is they cater to, obviously, when the bubble's coming through in summer months. So a lot of the things were kind of closed up that were kind of traditions here, you know, for blackberry shakes and burgers, but still was able to get plenty of food and do the snack resupply, use restrooms, throw trash away. So I can't complain, that's for sure. Those are luxuries you just don't get when you're through hiking. So those little tiny things definitely add up as bonuses. The shelters were real nice. The only other thing I would say is there's just not much water here. They have the pipe springs at the shelters, so those come in handy, but sometimes those shelters are 13 miles apart. Most of them are, actually, so got to be smart with the water for sure, especially on these really hot days, come summer especially. But I loved being here. It was definitely different types of terrain, a lot of ups and downs, nothing real big as far as mountains. I think 39 was the biggest, and then the one North Mount Mitchell was about 3,500. The 3,900 was Stony Face Mountain, or Stony Man Mountain, maybe. I don't remember which one it is now. I'm getting confused because the reason it's called what it is because it resembles a face. But it's a face of a man, so it makes me think it's Stony Man Mountain. Anyway, getting ready to be done and going to get off tomorrow. I have 3 different hostel decisions that I can make for tomorrow. It's just really going to depend on when I could get a signal, when I could see the weather, when it's going to start raining and storming, and bringing that cold front in as far as which one I go to. But I am going to sit tomorrow out, get some food in me, get some rest, and then do that last section right before Harper's Ferry and before the 24-hour challenge. So and then the halfway challenge will be soon after that. So a lot of great things on the horizon. Looking forward to what tomorrow brings and what tonight brings. But here about 7 miles till I shelter. You'll definitely hear from me before then. seen those deer in the distance up on the trail. And I was trying to get up to them, but this particular section has a bunch of loose rock on it. It was like crunch, crunch, crunch. It's like I was walking on popcorn, popcorn kernels. I couldn't be quiet no matter what I did. They were just standing underneath that branch there looking back at me. Like, we hear you. We're too far to know if you're good or not, so we're out of here. I was hoping I'd get a close-up conversation with one of them again. That's number 6 today, 5 and 6. All kinds of deer. All kinds of squirrels. I don't count the squirrels though. In the wildlife, anything besides the rodents is pretty much what I count, and birds, of course. So any of those ones that you just don't see very often. Lots of deer. The bear will come in time. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'll be one of those weird ones that go this whole Appalachian Trail and never actually get to see a bear. Oh well, I made up for that last year, I guess. Seen quite a few. Alright, climbing this one last big climb, I think, before the end today. Before leaving the Shennies. Carrying on. Stopped at this pipe spring to fill up on some water and filter. Probably don't need a filter, but I never take a chance. I don't know if you can see it down there. It's gushing pretty good. Just a few miles before camp. Wanted to show you my shirt though. Look at all that salt I've lost. Just pouring sweat all day. It's not all from today. Part of it's from yesterday and the day before, but it's been really warm. That rain's going to come in tomorrow, and it's going to be like in the 50s for the next week. So I won't be doing near as much sweating, but I have lost a lot of salt. So I got to put a lot of salt in me for dinner tonight. Yeah. Look at how wide this trail is. Do you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of the very end of the movie A Walk in the Woods, where Robert Redford and Nick Nolte decides to get off the trail, and they're getting a ride from a four-wheeler on the back of it, like a maintenance vehicle or something, and there's people hiking on a wide trail with trees on both sides. I don't know why, but this looks just like it. Now, I know a lot of the stuff in that movie was not even from the AT. It was just there for cinematography and looks and such. But this looks just like it. So I'm wondering if this is it. This is Compton Gap and Compton Trailhead, which basically goes the last 2 miles up to where you sign the permit for backcountry or through hiking on the north end. So basically the boundary. So I'm wondering if it is. It really doesn't matter one way or the other, but you know, I'm out here through hiking, so my brain just thinks of everything, and that's what it just thought of. So I thought I'd share it with you. That's obviously Hollywood though, and this is real life. And I'm going on 26 miles, 27 by the end, and then I'm gonna eat a lot of food. I'm tired. I'm still tired. Yep. Shenandoah, also known as the Shennies to the locals, is in the bag.